So that is how that name of Deepak has come in the middle. During that plague, what happened that there was no lady doctor available at that time in the cantonment of Jabalpur. And ultimately those accounts were under stress and they were starting to turn bad. And they started putting pressure through the local elements of Riva on me. I saw two persons which came and one of these put a gun to me. And then that was really shocking. I got the shock of my life. Branch manager, you can say, of the largest corporate branch of Union Bank of India in Mumbai Fort. We were one of the first banks to launch a handheld ATM. After this, we are into the panel of Reserve Bank of India, Committee on MSMEs, that is medium and small scale industries. After COVID, there was a change in my activity. British Park Society, a really good society in Bhopal. Good evening. You have asked me कि मेरा नाम James Deepak Elias कैसे? James and Elias जो है, that is my Christian name. When I was born, that day it was a Diwali day. Lady doctor who delivered me, she told my mother कि ये बहुत auspicious day में पैदा हुए हैं, तो though you are keeping Christian names, so that is how that name of Deepak has come in the middle. My grandfather and my grandmother, they job of the armed forces. My grandmother was a doctor, and then when they had set up this Mau cantonment, so she was transferred from Lucknow to Mau Cant. Subsequently क्या हुआ कि जबलपुर में प्लेग फैला, like अभी कोविड इंस्टेंस हुआ था, similarly like that there was a plague. During that plague, what happened that there was no lady doctor available at that time in the cantonment of Jabalpur. उस टाइम बहुत सारे ladies जो थी, they were affected. Then decided that my grandmother, who was a lady doctor, she was transferred from Mau Cant to Jabalpur Cant. That is how we came to Jabalpur. My father was the youngest of them, and then he was with the Royal Air Force. And subsequently, because my maternal grandfather, he was also in the Royal British Army. So that is how the alliance came through for my mother and my father. And I was born in 1955. So my basic education started from the Christ Church School of Jabalpur. And then my education in Bhopal was in different schools. I studied in the St. Joseph's Convent at Eidgah Hills. Then subsequently I shifted to the Campion School, Bhopal. I did my completion there. And then I went back to Jabalpur. I did my graduation all from St. Aloysius College, Jabalpur. I did my post-graduation in economics from Government Hamidia College, Bhopal. Then I went to Madras to do my management. I did my management degree there. So I did my marketing probation with Methodic Systems, New Delhi. So I was in New Delhi for a long time. And then for the industrial part of the training, I came to Bhopal in Parmali Vallis. My hobbies, I used to play a lot of games. I represented combined universities in lawn tennis. I was also a good basketball player. The other hobbies were doing some reading. A lot of reading I used to do at that time. And then in 1976 December, I got selected as a probationary officer in Union Bank of India. And from there, my journey as a banker started. And this journey continued for a period of nearly 39 years till I retired in the month of October 2015. As a managerial level, it started from 1980 and it continued till I retired. So it was all managerial positions. It started from the branch manager level and then it went up right up to the top level as a working branch manager in many capacities. I worked as a branch manager on a senior manager level. I worked as a branch manager on a chief manager's level. I worked as an assistant general manager's level, a deputy general manager's level, and subsequently as the in charge and head of the corporate, the Apex. Then I remember one incident when I was chief manager in Riva branch. And that time all these projects of NHAI were going on, National Highway of India. So Riva had a lot of good contractors, and mostly these contractors, they were quite politically well connected also. And one of those clients, they got the project for the development of, that was the project which he got. And we financed that particular firm. Subsequently, what happened, because of some internal differences, they had a fight, and because it is a violent situation between all these contractors, road makers. One of that incidents, and one of the partners, he was murdered, and because of that, then the project came to a standstill. And because of that, what happened? The cash flows and all dried up. And because Union Bank of India, like I have already said, we were into the financing part. So cash flow stopped and their loans servicing became deterrent. And ultimately, those accounts were under stress and they were starting to turn bad. So we were in the process of making a recovery by disposing of the assets of the company. So these people came to know that the bank is entering into a venture where they will be liquidating the assets and all, because we have to give them notices prior to doing this liquidation. Safeguard their assets. Some of the partners, they were not ready for that, and then they approached the bank and they asked for time. And one of the partners, who was a localite of Riva, he was quite politically influential also at that time. And they started putting pressure through the local elements of Riva on me. Subsequently, on one day, what happened that we had a hot talk and that with that gentleman, and I flatly refused. So one day when I was returned from my office, after dinner I used to, because I was staying in a colony which had a park. So I was taking around, and suddenly I saw two persons which came, and one of these, there was this gentleman and they had two guys with him and they put a gun to me. And then that was really shocking. I got the shock of my life. These assets which you are doing, then you have to hand over the documents to us. Otherwise, you know this outcome will be there. And duress, and tomorrow you have to do this. Otherwise, your family and you will be in problem. So naturally, because it was a town which belonged to them, and so the next morning, and again they came and then they forced me, and then I was forced to give some documents actually, and because of that I had under duress I had to give. But immediately after I did that, I phoned my higher-ups in Bhopal. I told them about the incident. They also knew the party and they knew the background of the party. So immediately overnight they transferred me from Riva to Bhopal, and I came to Bhopal. Subsequently, we were able to make a recovery of the loan account. But that is one of the incidents in my banking career which was quite stressful. It was costing me my life at that time, I thought. Where I was the branch manager, you can say, of the largest corporate branch of Union Bank of India in Mumbai Fort. And it had the clientele of all the top industrialists of India. Like Tata's is there, Reliance is there, Shapurji, Palonji is there, then Vedanta is there, like Rustomji was there with us, Lodas were there. We had a lot of clients. So this Mr. Hafeez contractor, he was also the contractor for Rustomji's. We also had a discussion about 2 or 3 other projects which were outside the city of Mumbai. There was a mention that we asked him, the mention came that he was doing some project in Bhopal also. Before I went to Bombay, I had worked here in Bhopal for a long time. So I inquired from him, which builders, what project you are doing. Then he told me that there is a construction going on in Bhopal. We are proposing to put up a project which is known as British Park. So that is how we came into the picture of British Park, Union Bank of India. My last posting in Bhopal, I was the zonal lead and I was controlling 2 states, Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh, both. Union Bank of India in the year 2015 from Government of Madhya Pradesh. The award was given by the Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh, Mr. Shivraj Chauhan. So I received it on behalf of Union Bank of India. We were one of the first banks in the Jan Dhan account opening at that time. Subsequently, on behalf of Union Bank of India, as being the zonal lead, I have received an award from for the best Rajbhasha Shield from the Director of Rajbhasha Cell of Madhya Pradesh government. For Chhattisgarh also, we have received some awards for being one of the best banks for Jan Dhan, opening of Jan Dhan accounts, inclusion of financial literacy. When I was there in UP, I have received for the financial literacy awards for upskilling the below poverty line people and bringing them into the financial stream. That we had a tie-up with FINO, F-I-N-O. So there we launched them, and then we were one of the first banks to launch a handheld ATM. They get a card and then they can swipe that card on that machine. Money is given to them by the representative who carries that machine. After this, we are into the panel of Reserve Bank of India. The Reserve Bank of India has got many committees, and the different bank in charges are members of that committee. So naturally, after retirement from the bank for 2 years, you get an extension into a government job. So the director here, Reserve Bank of India, then he asked me to be a member of the committee on MSMEs, that is medium and small scale industries. तो उसमें रिजर्व बैंक के रिप्रेजेंटेटिव के तौर पे आई वाज सिटिंग इन द लोकल बोर्ड ऑफ इलाहाबाद बैंक, यूको बैंक एंड बैंक ऑफ इंडिया. So that is how I was in the panel. So I was one of the members of that committee, of the selection committee. We used to take interviews for these probationary officers. And then I was, after that, 2 years stint, educational institutes. They wanted me to give lectures and all. I continued before with this activity, and I was continuing with it because it was a good job. After COVID, there was a change in my activity. British Park was really a good integrated township which had all the facilities and all the comforts which can be offered to residents. And then my friend is here, Mr. Das. He had already come to Bhopal 2 years before I came. That is how I also came about doing this. The maximum things which the retired persons look at that time is number one, security. Then we look at the ambience of the rated like that on an upscale society in Bhopal. When the rating is being done, it was rated as an upscale society. British Park Society, a really good society in Bhopal. They are having a different circle altogether, and that's why now you can see that different circle type of activities also take place. Thank you for giving your time. Thank you.